You telling me I'm about to hit 20,000 and this time I'm gonna be faster than Hearthstone to do it? Well, fuck you, Hearthstone. I mean, I despise the game so much. I have to say it, guys. But, it's very influential. But now I'm gonna be the most influential for a long time, probably. I don't know if TikTok can actually do it. TikTok's growing fast as well. It's almost beating Hearthstone as well. So these guys probably gonna have a battle at 20,000. Just saying, just seems very plausible to me. So, we're gonna talk about laziness. And we're gonna talk about why it's so valuable, or why I think it's valuable, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll even find myself wrong. So, let's put it to test. Laziness is gold. Let's first see what the internet has to say about laziness. I did saw a video about procrastination, and of why it's valuable, and it makes sense. Normally, like, different personalities take a different approach, and for me, I have a lazy personality. And it means a lot of things, man. I don't go out and ask people to come out and hang out with them. I just sit here next to my computer and being lazy all the time. But to the outside world, to the outside eye, it would look like laziness. But I'm working my ass off, dude. It's just I'm doing it in a different way, in a lazy way. You know, there's a lazy way of working really hard. And I'll tell you this much as well. The greatest quality that I have is being aware of a lot of things. And you'll see it in the YouTube Rewind, which is probably still the thumbnail of this video of, it's 8 days left or something. So, yeah, the greatest quality is that I'm aware of a lot of things. When you're lazy, you can look around and not worry about a lot of things, but to be able to be lazy, you have to actually even afford it first, and set up your life so you always have income and you solved your living issues all the way into the future, so you don't actually have to worry about them anymore. And you do have to worry, actually, about not being aware of things and not being lazy in terms of not working, but just focusing on what you actually like, because what you like is probably what other people like too, and you'll be able to bring that to life somehow. So yeah, I mean, in a lazy state, you're gonna reach happiness a lot faster than while working, right? Like, resting feels a lot more comfortable, and I mean, it's just generally satisfying to be able to do whatever you want, to have freedoms and all that shit. So that's the real idea behind laziness, is to give yourself as much freedom as possible to do whatever you want to maximize your happiness. There's nothing uh, weird about that at all, or bad about it, so it seems pretty crazy, right? The other most valuable quality that I have, which is like the third now quality, and everything about laziness is the qualities that I have because of it, right? I can do things fast. I don't get attached. And I don't need to invest much. I can do a lot of things, basically. I can try a lot of things. Some things gonna work better than others. I have, checked out watch time, what worked the best. And obviously, it's Elder Scrolls Legends. It's giving people, or filling in the gap in the YouTube economy or whatever ecosystem of what people actually demand for, what creators are lacking. So like this card game is not being played by enough people apparently. Hearthstone videos not very popular, but there is one video that popped up as like legend rank video, so people do get recommended that thing. They do want to hit legend still. It's still a relevant thing. And maybe I also clickbaited with this one, but the thumbnail said 300,000 or whatever. I mean, it took me such a long time to get there. And then there's a bunch of hate videos, which is technically NoFap is also a hate video. Probably the rewind is here because I watched it, not because anyone else watched it, unfortunately. And then there's Story of My Life, which is still a hate video to my classmates. And then whoever people actually hate on, which is Onision, I actually appreciate this guy and I will have it on YouTube Rewind very soon. Like usually a person has one meme about them in YouTube Rewind, 6 seconds worth. This guy's gonna have 12 seconds. Fucking ridiculous, okay? Alright. And that's kind of it. Obviously, if you can create a hot topic somehow, or you can fill in a gap in demand, whatever people demand on and they're not receiving, well, you're gonna be successful on YouTube that way. But this is like fucking child numbers. I am a nobody still on YouTube. I was able to grind this whole year in a lazy way, but I was still consistently improving. And again, you must understand, what I've been improving upon is still pretty crazy. I'm not like brute forcing myself to improve. And it feels pretty nice because, again, I'm improving in a way that I want, and everyone can trust me. I think that's the greatest quality of all time. Out of all things, anyone can trust me. Not only that, I will respond a lot. Responding is like the easiest thing to do. Like, why are YouTubers not doing that? Just responding a bunch of times to the comments. It feels a little bit weird when the comments suggest something ridiculous and you have to make a video about it. Or when the comments themselves pile up or something. It does seem a little bit too ridiculous that, wow, they actually influence you so much and you have to work on that right now. But it still makes sense. Right now, I don't think comments are gonna influence me as much as anyone on Discord, because these are kind of real people. They establish themselves as real people, not some bots, not some losers, not some haters. Like, they have to actually influence me properly, and then I will consider their ideas. But yeah, being like responsive, being active in terms of what people care about in your community, trying to establish a community that way, and just, as I've said, the most important thing is that you can actually trust me, you know. The reason for that is I'm not attached to ideas, as I've said. Where is it? Don't get attached. That is the further consequence of that. Because I'm not attached, you can actually trust me, because I will have an actually objective view of every single idea. I don't need a subjective view. When you get attached too much, your views become very subjective. Okay? I really like this coffee. I drink it every single day. And I don't really drink any other coffees or types of coffees. Or types, you don't eat types of foods you have never really tried. So you have no actually objective way of looking at things. Usually this happens when you need to eat fast food to stuff yourself really quickly. You're not going to think about it. You just need to uh, consume whatever, right? Whatever you feel handy right now. Usually, there's only a very, very special moment when I open up and watch TikTok. Right now I'm technically working full-time on YouTube, and I don't want to watch TikTok. And it does feel a little bit too lazy to just watch things. Unless I'm actually working, right? So you cannot be like incredibly lazy, which is a very questionable thing to do. And I don't think people want to be completely lazy and completely do nothing. But again, once you define things properly, you can see the full potential, the full value of it. Obviously, there's many ways to approach every single concept and trash it if you want. But you can do whatever you want technically. But when you start following principles, you can't allow yourself to lower the value of concepts if you can make them higher. The higher the value of the concepts that you're using, well, the more positive your vocabulary is. You can use words in different occasions, in different circumstances. Like, all of a sudden, your vocabulary is very useful and very simple to understand to some extent, right? Because you're referring to something in a positive way, and except for boredom. Boredom is not positive, but I'm doing these videos of like something is bullshit or something is gold to make sure I define everything very strictly so people snap into understanding immediately what it means instead of worrying about it. So my views are very clear on these issues, right? And I want to talk about more and more issues, and I can't wait to see what happens. In case my YouTube Rewind actually blows up and, I get 100 subscribers and I'm able to talk to most of those subscribers, maybe I can even get 1,000 subscribers. If things go really fucking crazy, I'll get 10,000. My video blows up into 1 or 10 million views category, which is very rare to happen, especially for a person like me, who's incredibly controversial because I have opinions. It's crazy, right? But this is, again, because I'm lazy, you can trust that the things I care about, I actually really enjoy. And I'm not just like forcing myself to use those things. So yeah, it does hit the definition quite a bit, because it doesn't feel like laziness anymore if I'm including some kind of work. But you have to work on something. Like, the counter argument to this is simply, but you have to defeat boredom. Like, it's not that difficult. That was my 10,000 points video, basically. And now we're getting to 20,000, so we can stack on that real hard. Actually, I did it in the wrong way. I forgot the emoji. I'm sorry, guys. Also, it's very weird. The impression count is... I think the worst metric here is impressions click-through. Because it actually brings up percentages from, like, very old time. I was hoping like impressions actually mean something better than this. When you look into what it actually means, it's like how many times your video thumbnail, it doesn't have to say thumbnails, were shown basically on YouTube. So apparently, this is the most shown video ever. It's just people don't want to click on it, which is completely fine, I guess. And it still did pretty fine. I have no complaints. Yeah. What is the highest click-through rate on the highest impressions? Thunderfoot. Okay, I'm aware of that. And the second best, maybe? Anything? No? 3%? Is that the best one? 5.9. Penn and Teller Fullers. It's questionable thing because people are looking for Penn and Teller, basically. So, not sure what's going on, to be honest. I don't even get like 5%. Bazaar. Yeah, whatever. So another thing I do also kind of establishes trust. My videos are not scripted or anything, and I just don't see the reason for a lot of things actually, and I actually see bullshit this way. So this straight comes from being aware and doing a lot of things, because that's what a lazy person's supposed to do, a lot of things. They might look lazy to other people because they're unsuccessful, and you can't really define what I do necessarily, or pretend that I'm running some kind of YouTube business or something. It's very difficult for someone like that to introduce themselves. Technically, when you look into a nerd, you wouldn't say that it's a lazy person. You would look into a bully and say that it's a lazy person, which also has to get countered somehow. I'm scared of this argument. But then, neither of them are actually lazy. Alright? If you really think about it, neither of them are lazy. They just live a kind of a different life. So laziness is more of a definition of what kind of life you want to live, not necessarily like a bad quality that someone has. In other words, if you really think about it, the bully is not the lazy one either, because he has to constantly think about, his strategies of approaching people and dealing with people, and not getting in too much trouble, because that would just ruin his career as a bully, okay? He has to find the sweet spot of value. And I think that's pretty difficult, and that's still pretty valuable if you can actually put this guy into an interview and ask him a few questions of how he does certain things. You don't really see bullies on the internet necessarily. You wouldn't think they're successful. So definitely, I don't know what's going on. That's what I'm definite about. I don't know what's going on. I would love bullies, actually. I would love the internet to be filled with bullies. So if you said the bully is the lazy one, I kind of would still want to agree with you, just because, I want more bullies and less nerds. Yeah, nerds are nice. I just don't want bullies to be, negative all the time. They have to have a perfectly reasonable goal of why they are attacking other people, and they have to attack other people with style. They have to be really smart and intellectual. So technically, I would, combine a a bully and nerd into one thing. I don't know how I would call it, but that's me right there. I want to be that thing. I think the most difficult thing for me to comprehend is then if I am lazy, why other people are even lazier. Because, I still have no one to talk to, really. It feels like nobody's actually responsive. Everyone's, like, kind of doing something, but not really. You know, like, I'm just sitting here. I don't know what to do, you know? I don't know how to break this ice. But it doesn't seem like it's laziness, it's more like absolute terrifying ignorance. You know, and inability to actually form principles and all that shit. So, nah, dude. You could technically say that doing the same thing is lazy, but then working hard is not lazy, so that kind of cancels out. So it's a very weird topic, man. But so far we have countered every single anti-argument, so no problems there. It's pure gold so far. Not just principles, but like reason. You can even say goals or motivation. You could say that. That's kind of what makes people very ignorant. They're just like not motivated to actually care, because it doesn't feel like the end of the world to them as it is to me, an aware person. Unfortunately, if you're just gonna be completely unaware, completely ignorant, and like it's the opposite of awareness is ignorance. So you have to be very scared of your ignorance, man. Because the world is keep improving, and if you gonna keep ignoring things, because I can see how many things you actually need to be aware of, now that I'm aware of those things, and how actually difficult it is to put it all together into one coherent, like, video and explain how many things you have to be aware of. I can barely, like, give you guys 100 memes on YouTube Rewind and show you guys a titsy bitsy snippet of how much experience I have gained watching YouTube, but that's still nothing. These are just funny haha memes that will not make you feel that, oh, ignorance is really bad. But we're not talking about ignorance here. Ignorance is like completely separate video that I shouldn't really touch right now, even though I feel very triggered right now and I would love to make a video just on ignorance alone. And, because it makes me so fucking angry. Like, ignorance is everywhere. And again, it kind of translates to lack of principles, motivation, just people not willing to care because they're not in some kind of epic danger or whatever. It doesn't feel like it's gonna give them immediate value, but it does, which is like such a weird thing, but it very much does. And a lot of people do break through that because they post TikToks, and I appreciate those TikToks because they show how not ignorant they are, how much they actually understand about a particular topic. I'm not sure if they are a well-rounded person overall, but like a lot of people are not ignorant when it comes to getting as much fame as possible, because that feels really good and that's a good goal to have, and it seems achievable, you know. So but like for some reason interacting with other people in general is just not a popular thing to do, which still kind of fucking sucks. But that's just because, there's another layer of ignorance is that we need more tools to be less ignorant. We kind of like force ourselves to be ignorant for a very interesting reason. We see all the good things on the internet. We can kind of interact with all the good things. But when it comes to like real life, we can only do a handful of things. We can only have a handful of friends. So we would rather like invest more time in getting to know more people than deal with a handful of friends that can stab you in the back at any moment and really kind of useless. So, and you still would want that freedom. So I kind of understand where the ignorance is coming from, but again, it's not the video that I want to make. It's just I'm very pissed off, and I want to solve this as much as possible, and the next big social media site is always gonna try and tackle ignorance out of all things. And that's the only solution that we really need to solve. I mean, the only problem that we need to solve. See, the thing is, YouTube provides us with a lot of videos, and we can be aware of a lot of things that are happening online. Very nice. And a lot of people's opinions, and who are the big people and who are the small people. We can test a lot of things on YouTube, and I'll keep on doing that next year. My work is gonna get, exponentially more insane, basically, as we grow. And my community is larger over time, right? Like, these are the expectations that I have, because I have been growing exponentially so far, just by looking at watch time. This month is gonna dip because I'm not uploading videos, obviously. And I've never really cracked YouTube. YouTube kind of recognizes that my videos are trash for some reason, so it doesn't give me anything. Probably because I said flat Earth one time, and I did get a strike for saying masks are bullshit, for trying to say that. I didn't even get the chance to say it or reach any people whatsoever. I just got a strike, technically. 1 out of 4 strikes. The first strike is just called a warning. But at least I got a subscriber for that. That's nice. Alright. Here you go. There's a subscriber that came. So, man, what's the percentage thing? Oh, what's the percentage? What? Is that overall views that I have? Alright, whatever. 1%, really? It's kind of crazy. Boredom is bullshit, like... But I do upload a lot of videos, but still, like, 1% is pretty crazy. And yes, a lot of videos... No, on average, I get, like, 10 views. I think. It doesn't matter. So yeah, like, we have to tackle ignorance with the social media site. YouTube came and tackled... just gave the ability for people to upload their thoughts and videos and whatnot. Just to make people aware what is out there in the world in the first place. Then TikTok is giving you kind of what you want to be aware of, a little bit more, so it figures out what you like and then makes you aware more about those things. But, the next social media site probably gonna make you aware of how can you actually improve your life. That is the most craziest thing ever. The thing that people are very ignorant about, I would say, and just giving people principles to follow. This is some crazy shit, and I will probably be a part of that social media site. In one way or the other. I either gonna be a big boy in there, big face in there, because it should be also very easy to use and express your opinions. or I will actually like be a part of building that site. You know, I'm still reaching my prime, basically, of my power level in general, and I do it all with the power of laziness. So now let's see what the rest of the world, or YouTube in that matter, it's, very ironic and very appropriate to do that right now. Let's be less ignorant and see what other people's opinions about laziness is. And then we're gonna build on top of that. Also, I do recognize one more thing. As a lazy person, I don't want to censor myself, or be unfair in some way, right? Again, it just comes from the not ability to attach to anyone, because it's kind of weird. It's like, it's quite questionable. Why are you not able to attach to people? And I think that's very interesting question to ask. Not being able to attach to people. Or other things? And that's technically not true. There's another layer on top of that as well, is I'm not just lazy, I'm also very often upset. But at the same time, it does require constant attention, and you have to constantly look up on what that person is doing and constantly bother them, basically. Just bombard them with attention over time, basically. Not immediately, but over time. Every other week, you look at something you like. You don't just like their post, you always post a comment, something thoughtful, something not invasive, but still invasive enough so they actually think about you. And you gotta fucking juggle that feeling of like, what do I type so it's not offensive enough so I don't lose the friend? For me, I just don't care. That is crazy thing to care about. It's such a crazy thing to care about, trying not to be offensive, but influential. So, fuck me, dude. I guess I'll have to not say influential, but it is quite a big part of this sentence, or supposed to be a part of the sentence, because again, you're trying to constantly somewhat invade their privacy and make them think about you in a positive way somehow. Like, it's such a difficult thing. And I just don't really have time for that. You kind of have to realize it's probably not worth it, even though it feels like a very good thing to do, and being influential is very nice, and making sure that people think about you positively is just something that I kind of missed out on, to be honest, in life. I'm not necessarily proud of this thing, but at the same time, I just like, who gives a fuck, man? You have to actually build your personality and do something valuable with your life, instead of trying to just influence a handful of people that you will still gonna struggle, like, keeping them in case your personality somehow changes. You have to turn up the heat slowly now and extract value out of them, and they will still leave. You think you can boil a frog just by heating the fucking pan, but the frog will feel uncomfortable and will jump out when it feels like it. Nothing's gonna change just because but because the frog has been in the water for so long, you can kind of get a little bit more heat in there, so you're gonna boil the frog a little bit more than you would normally do by just turning the heat all the way on, and the frog will immediately notice that it's uncomfortable. So it is it's a crazy strategy. Is another one of those bully nerd strategies, basically, to slowly kind of leech a person's interest and attention. But you still have to, in the end, just like with the bully and nerd situation, you have to, in the end, have some kind of very important goal that you're trying to achieve, and you have to extract that value, and you're probably going to lose that friend anyways. So, for me, I look at that, and it's like, it's not even worth it, because you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You don't even have awareness of what you want to do with that person. I'm sorry, dude. So that's how I would put it. Most people just don't know what to do with their friends now that they have them. They have worked very hard. What you have in the end is a skill, technically, and not really friends, like real friends, because you might not actually like them that much. That's a scary thing to think about, but it's most of the time going to be true, because you didn't really have a choice, or you didn't give yourself enough choice. You just improved your skill, but you never really questioned whether you like your friends or not. It's so crazy. Like, laziness is top of the food chain. You gotta fucking eat laziness all the time just to be more aware of things. Technically, laziness and awareness is interchangeable. Alright? You can say meditation as well to make yourself feel good, but actually meditation for me as a word feels a lot worse than laziness. Because laziness also includes, I don't want to meditate because that feels actually either not lazy enough or too lazy. I'm not sure which one, but it's not laziness. I'm sorry, meditation is like the most boring thing you can do. Like, hands down, like, so fucking boring, I don't want to do that shit. Alright? Technically, if you're full of thoughts, it's meditation time. You have to think about your thoughts. No big deal. You can be forced into meditation, but forcing meditation is a no-go zone. Forcing anything is not laziness. That's the whole point of laziness, is to not force anything to happen. Because it's just too hard to force anything anyways, and it's not going to give you a good result anyways. So yeah, now I think we can move on, maybe? Let's begin, boys. Laziness. Science of laziness. 7 proven ways to stop being lazy. Wow. See, like, people actually put it in a negative way. Science, it's your ADHD and not laziness. Okay. Feeling lazy and unmotivated? I would be scared of being unmotivated. Because, it makes no sense. It's one of those boredom-related things. Being unmotivated? You have been successfully consumed by boredom. Laziness has nothing to do with that, with being unmotivated, man. But, just people don't have a better word, so it's mashed together now. And it sucks, man. Use laziness to your advantage. Thank fucking God, man. I know this rule. I'm pretty sure I know this rule. You kind of, like, stop and think. It's more like forcing meditation, I think. It's exactly that. So, and setting world records, wow. Alright, cure to laziness. This could change your life, man. So now we have to think about, like, this is crazy to me. No one is talking about, but nobody's talking about concepts the way that I do, period. Right? Nobody's actually doing that shit, period. They're just catering to, first thought that sparks in your mind when you think about laziness. And they don't actually care about the truly thoughtful people who would watch hours of videos to try and understand things. These are the people that I'm trying to talk to, so for me, laziness is completely different from a bouncy regular person, okay? Let me... See, the definition is a little bit different when you do this instead of this. It's like, oh, I solved it. And you go here. And that's ignorance, that's not laziness. You still went all the way and, you know, you have to come back. But there's just some people who think like, wait, why don't I just, you know, explore a little bit further? And these are just more thoughtful and genuinely more pleasant people to be around with, because they actually properly define something. By technically going through it, you also kind of want to explore it. These are like really, really thoughtful people that you would want to talk to immediately. And if you're one of those people, please do. Alright, get in touch before it's too late. For me, you know, I'll be satisfied if you just watch the whole video as a whole and like it and be able to understand it properly, you know, but there's a next level above that as well. And maybe even level 4 of some kind of actually adopting this thing into whatever project you're going to be doing next. Some kind of crazy thing like that. But yeah. People really think laziness is some bad thing? And that just... you can't do that to me, please. And that's my counter argument. I just don't. Don't do that to me, man. See, like, you can still be ignorant. Like, there's not gonna be enough videos. They're not gonna continue the idea of ignorance, basically. The idea of ignorance is still there. It's still gonna be there until a new social media site is gonna promote drama and discussion and really tackling these issues in a big way. We will still think of these concepts as either just completely flipped around, and we're gonna misunderstand the words, which is a terrifying thing to do, but I'm pretty sure you're not gonna do it, but a lot of other people are gonna do it. So, it's really terrifying to me. Really terrifying to me. Even though I kind of understand it. Because if it's one of those socialism moments, basically. Oh, I definitely know what socialism is. And, no, you don't. Even if you try to define socialism, it's so fucking difficult, and it would be so far from the actual words. And usually what people try to describe is actually governism, a word that doesn't exist but makes much more sense when you just say that government is some kind of ism that is happening right now, some kind of belief system, or a structure, rather. This is happening right now, that's very prevalent, and you can subscribe to that and make it more of a force to be subjected to and try to fight against, because it can be really bad if it gets out of control, just like capitalism. At least capitalism is actually quite well understood, but communism and socialism is one of those things that just piss me off so bad. So there are always these concepts that people just completely misunderstand, and I think laziness, unfortunately, happens to be very, very mistreated right now. Like, I'm disappointed in humanity in general. But it gives me an opportunity to be completely different. And I really hope I'm gonna reach 20,000 now. It gets more difficult now. I will consider that every single time I do these special checkpoint videos or whatever, when someone hits a 10,000, because that's the most common thing that's gonna happen. Like, you really have to just leave like 400 points, because that is hard enough. Usually you're gonna get 1 point every single minute, and I will still have to talk for 6.5 hours. So I'm in trouble right now, guys. You must understand. I can't really be lazy. And again, nobody really even called me lazy to begin with. I'm just the only person who's doing that. And that to me seems a little bit odd, right? Like, why would I call myself lazy? So let's try and tackle that. But it's not that difficult to understand why. I don't earn any money. I don't have GF. Or other friends. Pretty much afterwards, you understand I don't have a car, I don't have a house, I don't work every single day. I'm just sitting here and leeching off the government, pretty much. And I genuinely feel that I'm providing just as much value as anyone else, maybe even more so. Because revolutionary values are much more valuable than standard values, unfortunately, than standard way of living. And so we go full circle again and think about awareness, and awareness is going to give you revolutionary values and not just make you a nice person and you're going to be doing nice things that everyone else is doing. You can't do what everyone else is doing because it's already being done. The problem is kind of being solved. You have to solve problems that are not being solved. In fact, people are you going against the current, against things that like very difficult, because like other people are not aware, not gonna be able to help you at all. You're just exploring on your own, and you have to like deal with the issue of survival and sanity. And you have very limited resources in solving like really important problems, and those are revolutionary values. Unfortunately. Right? I wish I would be working. I wish I had a girlfriend. I wish all these things to myself. But I can't force it. I just can't force it. It's a principle. To be lazy is a fucking goddamn principle. It's one of the first ones in the first place. So here, I'm adding another principle, basically. It's a huge thing because it also has a star. Why wouldn't it be? I really wanted to talk about it in the first place on my landmark moment, basically. 20,000 boys, man. I hope it happens, because now I'm scared. Because I'm pretty sure it might even be less than 1 point a minute. I mean, I haven't really tested this thing, but it feels about right, okay, guys? I can kind of test it right now. So we're at 42, and I've started... I basically gained 15 points in 50 minutes, but I still have around 20 points left over. So it's about correct. And as I heat up, things are gonna accelerate, so it seems about right. You know, I've tested it multiple times, so I kind of know, or I should know. Now let's see, is there a way we can search laziness to actually extract value from this thing? Is good, basically. That's kind of what I want. Laziness can be a good thing. Signs of laziness still up here. Use laziness to your advantage, obviously. The hard work of being lazy. That's kind of what I want, right? First, you have to basically recognize that laziness is a good thing. Now we can watch these videos, because I really do not approve contrary opinions that much. But I will still try one of the laziness videos just to see what's up. The 20-second rule or anything else? You know what the most interesting one is? The ADHD thing. I think the real ADHD. I think people who have ADHD are more like they would care about animations to begin with. Let's put it that way. They can't really focus on my voice per se, but you did it somehow. But like most people just want to visualize things and hear things and do it quite quickly before they lose interest. It's just another way to say, attention span, which is like, fuck me, man. Shut the fuck up with your ADHD. It should be called something else to begin with. So, no, I'm not gonna watch this, unfortunately. I'm actually subscribed to this channel, if you can actually believe that. It's crazy, Very recently subscribed. Let's just watch the 20-second rule, which is should have supposed to be shown here as well, because it very much is aligned. Also, I've seen this guy on TikTok, I think. Interesting. I don't actually remember this video that much. I think the most revolutionary thing you can think about, you immediately think about meaning of life. Come on, man, why do I have to click twice on this shit? It has done it like 3 times already. Holy crap. Because of forcing. Because you keep forcing things to happen in your life. And maybe you should just let it go and not give a fuck so much that you technically can die from it. You can die from laziness, and then it's still a very revolutionary thing because you just don't care that much. And maybe other people will care. Potentially in a bad way as well. But you can still find a lot of meaning doing that. It just seems very destructive. So I'm gonna try and counter it in exactly the same way, right? It does seem very deadly and not much fun. Alright, to just let go of everything and be incredibly lazy. Again, in moderation, but it's completely different. Like, you actually have to understand the concept of laziness to begin with, and now I think most of the people here would now understand, so I don't have to repeat none of that shit. It's just, like, it kind of feels like alcohol, like you can consume it and it's not going to do much damage, but it's not even that, dude. It's not even that. It's a way of life. It's a way of it's a different way of gathering principles and not taking much risks in life. I think that's a very valid way of living, basically. It's just the strategy. You must understand it's not necessarily like great value of some kind. It's very strategic to not take too many risks. Like, You can say smart, I guess. So that's the main strategy of a lazy person. Why would you take risks? Like, what's the point? You do a lot of things that you can do that have no risks attached, and you get to be aware of those things, and you get to also slowly grow and not really worry about anything. The most important thing to worry about is there's so much social pressure and there's, financial pressure for you to do things every single day just to survive and keep your sanity. So I'm just one of those fortunate people who don't have to do that anymore. Probably for the rest of my life, hopefully. And I will try my best, okay, to try and liberate other people to be able to do the same thing, basically. In case I actually like them, obviously. There's a requirement to that, but other than that, I will try my best. I mean, that's gonna be my next goal. Now that I'm safe in a magical way, alright, once I feel like truly, truly safe, I'll start helping other people to feel the same way, basically, because it's a very important, I have no idea how much value you can actually get from that, but it feels tremendous. So yeah, there's not only just forcing something that you don't want to do, but you also don't want to be forced into something either. You don't want to really follow authorities on any of that stuff. But again, this is for you an ability to understand my personality better rather than laziness as a whole, I would say. But, you know, you can kind of get the same thing, whatever you want, technically. Do you want my personality? Do you want laziness? You're gonna get both, basically, at the same time. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it either, because I'm lazy, or everyone is gonna seep off their personalities one way or the other, so I don't even know why I needed to mention that, to be honest. But it's just like, it's a very personal thing to me, because it's my strategy of life. So if you ever want to stab me in the back, might as well figure that one out. You're not stupid, not lazy person who wants to stab people in the back and force something to happen in life. I will defend myself by all means necessary, man.
Practicing without having to exert too much.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, you do want to minimize the amount of work you require. That's a wonderful thing about laziness as well. You're always constantly thinking about efficiency, basically. How to make things more available to you, efficient, and actually, now that you care about awareness, because you should also be aware of your awareness, you also need to know how to actually control that. So those are like really ridiculous things to care about. Like, it's life-changing for sure. So I'm not like really gonna describe them more than that. But yeah, you can control your awareness and make sure that you keep focusing on things that truly matter. All right, you have to give yourself plenty of time to do those things. So while everyone else is looking at you as if you're lazy, and technically, again, these are complicated things, and for most people, they have ADHD and they can't fucking do it. Everyone can do it. You just have to be motivated. Like, okay, I will understand this strategy and apply this strategy to my life, and maybe it's gonna be life-changing. I wouldn't ask you to change your personality, by all means. But, it's just a nice thing to be aware of how it truly works from a perspective of an actually lazy person, a person who has equipped laziness for a long time, like myself, alright? Of all the benefits that I have received, so far not a single, anti-argument has stuck around, just got wiped out. sniped immediately. No problems there. You know, as it comes, as so it goes, because it provides, with a weird feeling that you just don't want to have. It's not convincing in any way whatsoever, at least so far. It pisses me off for sure that people think laziness is a bad thing, but then you think about it, it's like, well, first of all, it's your fault, and you're not gonna get a lot of benefits from thinking that it's a bad thing, so I'll take the benefits, don't mind me, I don't care.
The next few nights when
This is when things go really fucking wrong, dude. So you cripple your TV watching habit. You shouldn't feel comfortable all the time. You should kind of try to be out of your comfort zone as much as possible. And usually, thinking is one of those things you can do to stop being in a comfort zone. Because in a comfort zone, you don't really want to think that much. You want to enjoy things, appreciate them. But thinking, it's kind of disruptive to, Like, I'm trying to watch this video and, now I'm thinking about it. I'm being triggered. You could just sit back and not do anything. But thinking is a way to claim power to begin with. And, yeah, a lazy thing to do is not to think. So, yeah, the laziness is splitting off into some kind of two concepts. There are things that are, very lazy things to do and not valuable. And there's also laziness that is ridiculously valuable. It's just people don't appreciate it as much. I don't know how to define those two separate things. They definitely are separate, as you can tell. But you don't want to compromise your life in any way. You have to claim more control over yourself instead of doing some stupid things as taking out batteries and putting them into a drawer so you stop watching TV, because now it's more difficult to do. It's like, wow, you're very fucking smart. Like, if you want to actually watch TV, maybe you have a good reason of why you want to watch TV. But I guess it has to be a good enough reason, so you do all this work. I don't know, man. Well, let's see what happened next in the story, because this is fucking fascinating.
which was conveniently within an arm's reach.
So he basically tricked himself, and he's not even aware that he did it, basically. It's like, oh, the TV is not turning off. I guess I don't care, and I'm just gonna play my guitar, because it's much more convenient to do that. Oh, the moment you trick yourself like that, it's like, yeah, very nice thing you did there, but I still think you're, very fucking stupid. If that's how you operate, basically, by tricking yourself, it's the only way you can actually do kind of what you wanted. He kind of wants to play guitar, but, honestly, watching TV might still be more valuable than playing guitar, unfortunately. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, man. Play guitar seems like the stupidest thing in the universe. I mean, you're never gonna be famous by doing that. I'll tell you that much. Alright? So, what are you trying to achieve with that one? With TV, you can... See, with the guitar, you can't even entertain your friends because you have to carry a guitar, so it's still a lot of effort, and if you're a lazy person, you're never gonna try and do that, and it's also extremely painful and stressful to try and impress your friends with that, when you can just say what you saw in the fucking TV show or whatever, and talk about that kind of. And maybe it turns into a kind of interesting discussion that way. So, this is a terrible example, and I'm fucking angry right now. For fuck's sake, man. This guy should have remained lazy. That's all I know, dude. And shouldn't fucking worry about that. But he did spark me the idea about efficiency, which is amazing. It's another way to be like smart type of lazy, not dumb type of lazy. That's I think the difference basically. You have to be smart lazy, and that's what defines things completely differently basically. There's a phone and there is a smartphone. Completely two different things, guys. Don't mix them up anymore. I'm sure the Gen Z or the young ones are like will never mix up those things anymore. But right now, like a phone and a smartphone is completely different things. I'm sorry, dude. Back in the day, phones are completely useless and trash and just were used to call people. And right now, people think, young people would think, oh, calling people is a cool app that you can you have on your phone, and you still have to discover that app. It's just the funniest TikTok I've seen. It's like people, so some kid saying, "Oh, I actually found this cool app where you can talk to people or whatever." It was a little bit different. TikTok, it kind of referred to something else, like you can make someone call you, basically. Yeah, but most young people would not know that phones are just used to call people, and that's it, basically. Why do we have SIM cards? I don't want a SIM card. Yeah, no, no shit, Sherlock. SIM cards should not exist anymore. This fucking stupid thing. But yeah. Uh, you know, like, the idea of being lazy, basically, is, making you question things. It just creates problems, basically. That solvable problems, by all means, because you want to remain lazy and you don't want anyone to bother you, basically, or anything to bother you. So, you're gonna actually notice a lot more problems that you can solve. That's also very cool value, I would say.
Behavior. You
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does make sense. Our behavior is very much gonna change based on the obstacles in the way and our ability to reach certain things, and that sort of awareness is like really important to set your life up where you can always reach to the most important things in your life. Like, you have to have like bookmarks or ability to just quickly, like, I can quickly click one button and I have my subscription box, and I can quickly check, because I'm addicted to this button like 24/7. I click it a little bit too often. So it's a very normal thing to do. Like, things you like, you just put it up front all the way. I mean, it just seems like very intuitive. There's nothing to do with laziness, to be honest. But it is very funny how you can actually trick yourself to not care about something anymore. You just make it less convenient for less accessible for yourself, and all of a sudden you can just disappear out of your habit ability. I mean, for me, like, I would never start smoking. Like, why would I start smoking? It's so inconvenient. You actually have to buy it with money. Like, that's it. And you also have to like it for some reason and try it enough times to like it. When you look at other people smoking, it feels like a habit that you want to do because other people are smoking. But when you're a lazy person, you're not gonna see a lot of people. Unfortunately, you're just gonna think a lot, and you're gonna make that conclusion that you don't want to be a smoker anymore. It's fucking stupid. And now in the ever improving technology worlds, people stopping to do that. But when I went to hospital for a year, almost everyone had the stupid bad habit of smoking for some reason, and it just pissed me off, to be honest. Because it just makes no fucking sense. Like, why would so many people smoke? Like, There's nothing like worse than doing that. Like it wastes your awareness, your time, and money, most importantly, of all things. Like your freedoms, your money is tied to your freedoms. And if you're just gonna waste it through smoking or some other bad habits in general, like, I don't care how good drugs feel. Only celebrities can afford drugs, unfortunately, so don't do that. I should actually put that into my meme, because I have a perfect meme of saying don't do drugs. Oh my god, it's a good one, yeah. I love it. Now, from now on, because I've discovered this amazing thing, I will start making crazy ass memes, because I will be able to compile them throughout the year of my entire year experience. I'll be able to compile it into memes because I will know exactly what I want my YouTube Rewind to look like. So, potentially my next YouTube Rewind next year is gonna be even crazier. Because I'm gonna put a lot more work into it over time. I will not have to take like 2 weeks off to do it anymore. That's another thing, another value of a lazy person. A lazy person doesn't want to just jump into something and commit all the way. They want to do it over time. So a lazy person would immediately recognize how much time they actually need. It's a very interesting thing, man. That's if you want to be a successful lazy person. I actually can't put a star in here no matter how much I want. That sucks. But yeah, like, a lazy person is gonna slowly win the race. That's the whole point, basically. Because he's gonna be aware of how much time they need to do that, to achieve their goals. A lazy person will figure out, basically. I guess I will put the star on a new one. 0. Yep. So basically, you just, as a lazy person, you will start understanding that nothing comes quick anyways. Because you're lazy, you can't just get up your ass and grab something and it's gonna be easy. You don't have a skill of that anymore because you have been lazy for so long, after all. So you have the expectation that everything will come ridiculously slowly. And, but still, it's gonna come, alright? And it's gonna be, like, the most valuable thing ever, as well. And potentially, that's kind of what's gonna happen with my relationships or something. I have no true expectations because I have so many expectations, because I'm aware of so many things. Anything can happen, and to be honest, as it starts happening, you'll have a lot more control over that as well. So it's really kind of cool, I would say. The lazy perspective, boys. I find it really funny of how, if you throw away food, junk food, you're gonna be less likely to eat unhealthy foods. Seriously? All you have to do is not buy unhealthy foods and actually eat everything that you have in the fridge until it's empty, and then you buy all the foods again. It's not that fucking difficult. It's not fucking rocket science. You don't need to throw away anything. That seems like an actual waste of value that you should be shot at because of. Alright? So please don't do that, man. God damn it, dude. You're lucky 2 years ago. Alright? I hope you changed as a person. But I will not subscribe to that. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, so now I'm, like, left thinking, like, ignorance is a bliss and laziness is some terrible thing that you shouldn't be doing. Like, what? It's literally the opposite. Ignorance is like the worst thing ever, man. Yes, you are automatically ignorant about a lot of things, and that kind of protects you. You need to focus often than not, but you can't. You must allow yourself to be distracted by all means by incoming value. You know, there's value incoming all the time. Why are you ignoring it? What's the point of doing that? Even the haters, even the fucking trolls, pure fucking value. I got nothing but value out of that. Just thinking about it. But if you're just gonna be repulsed so easily, I mean, I feel sorry for you. I mean, I got banned plenty of times, and I don't know how evil these people really fucking are, man. Like, whoa, stop there, criminal scum. You're not allowed to ban people on the internet. That's not a thing. It's not gonna be a thing anymore. I mean, Elon Musk is doing his Twitter playground basically thingy, but I will not play games. I'll show you the true power of banning people, man. Because the only people who deserve to be banned are the ones who want to ban other people. It's like, and there's a lot of them actually. So I would really want to see how they play along with each other when they cannot actually ban each other, but they get banned from the internet. I really want to know what they would do, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, you must understand that the incoming value, the value that you receive, is much more valuable than it appears to be because it actually traveled all the way. It's almost like, you know, a snowball travels all the way to your home and appears on your doorstep, and so a little fucking tiny snowball right now, but it probably has been a fucking size of a bear when it started. So you must actually appreciate the incoming value, because you have no fucking idea how really valuable that is, and what kind of journey that fucking person had to go through in order to actually just discover you and appreciate that you exist. I mean, that's some crazy shit you have to think about. So ignorance, throw that shit away. That's that one thing that you have to throw away is ignorance immediately, please. Holy crap. In other words, being lazy gives you enough opportunities to appreciate the snowball. Alright, now we're gonna call it the snowball. I might even make an emoji for this one little thingy, because it's such a cool story, right? It's so crazy. I love it. Alright, boys. Yeah, my counters actually don't track progress. I would love to do that, so I'll add this feature soon enough. But we have reached a 300 point requirement level something checkpoint. We're getting there, okay. We actually only gained 73 points, but I'll count it as 100. We're getting there, but god damn it, I have to be more lazy, man. But I have to be in a lazy where I'm not consuming other people's content without being thoughtful about it. Well, and we're already halfway through the video, so what am I gonna fucking do, man? The heat is not enough, man. The fact that I'm heating up, man, none of that matters, man.
About history, especially if you're interested.
Oh yeah, the welfare is just, in general, bad system design is the worst thing you can possibly do. If you don't procrastinate enough, and you don't slowly untangle the problems, they're not going to be solved properly, and you need like smart, aware people to solve these kind of problems. Like who gets welfare, how much, how to motivate people to work as much as possible, and actually, you know, give proper rewards so they're not only productive, but they're growing as a person and providing more and more value. That's the real motivator that should be in the system. How to motivate people to grow faster and produce more value. to, in general, alright, in general. So giving people welfare it's kind of fucking dumb. And what the fuck is that? It's also a funny title, by the way. Laziness does not exist, but she explains it as like it's kind of clickbait book title. It definitely is clickbait. Made me click. But it also made me click because it's a long video, so fantastic. Damn, it's getting really difficult to make videos because of the cold. I mean, it can only get worse from here because we're not even in the winter season, technically. We already have snow in Lithuania here. And it's like -4 to 6 Celsius, man. So my leg's starting to hurt, and I really don't want to get out of bed, but it hurts while I'm in bed anyways. I just like, oh god. Oh man. Why did electricity had to become more expensive too at the same time, man? Anyways, so I've added another point, actually. And there's another thing I do, which is kind of crazy, right? Everything I do is lazy. So there's this low maintenance thing that Asmongold actually does as well, if you know the guy. You just don't cut your hair, because going to barber is like, first of all, it's terrifying, and you have to pay money for it. And why the fuck does it matter that much? You just cut your hair yourself, even if it looks ugly in the end. It doesn't matter that much. But eventually things can break down. Something like brushing your teeth. I think it's fairly important. I'm still not exactly sure what's going on with my teeth, because it's not like all of the teeth are affected equally. It's just the biggest ones, the next to the wisdom teeth, are the ones completely obliterated, basically. And it's like, that's what happens when you don't brush your teeth? I don't know if that's true, man. But possibly, there's more ways of entry, and apparently, if you make a small little hole, your tooth just completely evaporates at that point. But there's this hole in my front tooth, and it's also seemingly because my teeth are just being pushed together with such force that it just breaks down most of the teeth, basically. It's some ridiculous bullshit. And I would blame wisdom teeth for that. And I don't know if that's laziness. The real laziness, again, comes from the system not really informing us how to fucking handle these kind of problems. And yes, most of the people get to be scared all the time and get that information from their parents that they have to do it. They don't know why they have to do it. But everyone's just scared enough, so they do the right thing technically. I hope it helps. It seems like everyone has white, healthy teeth, and I don't. So, congratulations. And that sort of thing is like quite a common pattern. Everyone seems healthy and happy, and I'm the weird one who has their life just completely unhinged and broken. But in the end, I'm actually the happy one who doesn't have to go and work anymore, which is also a very weird thing, I would say. It's not a star argument by any means, but it's so weird. and I still will find this weird for the rest of my life. I worked in UK for 4 years, but I only got... Oh, and there's the blackouts happening right now to my monitor. My monitor decided not to work anymore. Funny enough, it has been working for like 3 days straight, and now I just wake up to it being blacked out. Yeah, well, I have to just throw it away, basically. But I don't want to throw things away, especially technologies. I'm just gonna keep it somewhere, stash it somewhere. It's a big thing. Well, I'm glad this monitor is cheap as garbage, but it's gonna change a lot of things, like the way video is gonna get recorded. Like that kind of changes all of a sudden. So yeah, I have to stop the recording. Oh man. Yeah, but basically, it's so crazy. I worked in the UK for 4 years, and I got $0 out of it, out of this whole experience. I just worked a bunch. I hope I got a lot of skill out of that one. Oh, probably not. And literally not, because you're not actually expected to perform in a thoughtful way or something. You're not supposed to do things on your own. You're just supposed to do what you're told for 12 hours straight sometimes. And it's just kind of fucking messy. You're just kind of overwatching some operations, nothing crazy at all. Or performing operations. It's the same thing. But I came back home, and my mom is just sitting on government money, and that's just free, dude. No one has to work for that one. You just have to be, mentally ill. Is that it? That's all you need to do? Well, congratulations. I can do that. And I didn't know I can do that until I did a crime, and now we're both sitting comfortably, and there's plenty of money, despite, the weird problem of inflation or whatever. It doesn't faze me right now. It could, and it is pretty scary. Like, it's not stopping there, is it? It's just, like, inflation does sound really, really scary to me. I also find it interesting that we kind of refer to laziness when something doesn't work, right? So, if the system doesn't work, there has to be someone lazy, because they didn't actually thought about how to make it work. They didn't actually create a solution, which pisses a lot of people off, and you don't want to do that. But then the same thing can be applied to people, right? Also, okay, my microphone works at least. So, people are lazy because they don't work, just like the system may not work. Someone has been lazy, and didn't thought about, or wasn't aware of it, or doesn't want to solve something. So that's lazy, because when you roll out something, it has to kind of just like really work very well, or not just that. It has to work, and you have to be aware that there could be bugs or issues in the future that people have to quickly fix, or know how to deter problems from that. So It doesn't raise an eyebrow that much, so you can just sweep the problems under the rug really quickly and quickly fix those things. This is like super high level insanity system that no one can actually provide. Most of the system parts are created out of modules, and once one module doesn't work, and most people are not aware of all the modules and how they're supposed to work and how to fix them, how to access them, especially someone like Elon Musk. If he's firing a lot of people from Twitter, there's a lot of people who have knowledge of modules. That also module is a very interesting new word that I've learned from TikTok, which is very nice. But I knew it, I just didn't know the definition, which is ridiculous. So, also I will not be able to give myself points because of the blackout screen. Also, I don't know when I will be able to actually buy the new monitor. I will try doing it today, but it doesn't mean that I will get it today. Oh, this is a fucking nightmare, guys. Oh, fuck. So, I'll stop there. I want my points. I want to get 20,000 this video. Come on, man. But yeah, it's actually a very good example of why, I'm actually not buying a new monitor immediately. This actually has been happening for a bit of a time now. It has kind of wasted like 2 days already for me. I could have been working a little bit harder, but I had to deal with this issue. But now, because I see it just comes back randomly, I can't deal with that, obviously. But I have like patience. Alright? I have weird amount of patience. And that's a very weird resource to have. Like, most people don't have it because they're ignorant. Oh, here we go. Ignorant. They just they don't know what it is, man. They don't know what patience is. But I know. I can just sit, because I know what value is. I will always be patient as long as I'm getting some kind of value out of it. I mean, I'm always excited for that. It's very simple. And the greatest value of not giving a fuck is like, well, if it works to some extent, then I don't have to worry about it. But it clearly doesn't, because now it stabs me in the back. You know, the expectation is that my monitor is somehow haunted for like 2 days and I don't have to worry about it. But it seems like it's reoccurring and it's pissing me off too much. So something will have to change now. But yeah, I am lazy. I did not like overreact. I did not wanted to buy the new thing all the time just because I have money for it. But technically I'm not buying unnecessary things because I'm poor, and not buying things is a very valuable thing to do. So it's a little bit different from laziness, being poor, but it kind of comes with the same package, honestly. You kind of embrace being poor, because there's a lot of unnecessary things that you could be doing with your money anyways. And it's like, what's the point of that? So it's actually funny because being lazy is a completely different quality than you really thought about. And now I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? Because anything can be lazy. Like, if you make a mistake, you're lazy for not thinking about it and actually getting a result like that. Like, you're not supposed to make mistakes. You have to really make sure you don't. I'm sure you have plenty of time not to make mistakes in your life. Yes, you can try something, but it's an experiment. It cannot end in a mistake. It ends in a result that you can observe. So making mistakes is actually a terrible thing to do. I'm pretty sure my mom is making a mistake by using gas to cook her water instead of using the goddamn electricity to cook her water as much as she wants as I do it. I literally forgot how it's called. Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, what the? Why is it such a complicated name that I don't remember? Anyways, let me check. A fucking kettle, man. Ugh, kettle is a terrible fucking name. Anyways, so, making mistakes is a terrible and lazy thing to do, but just sitting back and being a thinker, that is being a thinker. That's like you're not supposed to just be active all the time. But the actually laziest thing to do is look lazy for too long. All right, you have to act and have problems. Okay, you can be a thinker. That's fine. But if you have problems, I have like back problems, I have eye problems, but technically these are problems that don't really have solutions, or like other people are not even aware of them because there's not enough social pressure. They're not just poking me and seeing how I'm performing. Like even the person I go to the hospital is not aware that I have a bad eyesight or that I have a bad back or that I have shitty teeth, basically. Uh, they can definitely see the scratchings on my face as the worst thing, and how I'm dressed. Like these are problems, but all they can do is still just point at me. That's as much as social pressure that they have. They don't actually understand what it means, and those things I'm not concerned about at all. Yes, the things on my face that now actually hurt. That's concerning, and that's you can call that lazy, but like no, you're fucking lazy. Most of the people are lazy themselves because they don't actually give me a solution. There was a woman that knocked on my door. I opened. I know who she is, but she was very concerned of like, okay, there has to be some kind of cream that I could slap on your face and everything will go away, right? There's somehow I can help. I will talk to a doctor. I will do whatever. Like this kind of concern is interesting. It's still not a solution, but that's the right reaction of an actually concerned person. A wrong reaction is just pointing a finger. It's like, wow, you think I'm not aware? I have to live with myself every single day. I'm sure I am aware of how I dress, why I do that. You can ask why. That would be a much better conversation. And this was a doctor that did it. And it's like the most offensive thing. A doctor doesn't know how to talk to people? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? But like, you have to actually prescribe medicine. So you clearly don't know how medicine works, potentially. Because you don't even know how to talk to people properly. I'm sorry, dude, man. I mean, I kind of already did the video of why doctors are bullshit. Right? I don't even know anymore, man. So yeah, if you really think about it, the real definition of lazy is something that doesn't have a proper balance. So now we can think about it 4 ways, because there's always 4 ways to think about it. There's, again, a lazy thinker, and he's lazy because he has other problems. Or his thoughts are not actually valued by society. Like, they're not being received. And that's kind of true, right? I also have this problem, so I'm like a terrible fucking thinker, actually. But, am I? It could go always both ways, right? Maybe society is not receiving it because it's a terrible society. But technically I should work super, super hard just to make sure that my thoughts are actually being received by enough people and the right people at the same time. I can't just throw it out on the internet, and now I'm actually scared when I say this. I'm just starting to realize maybe I am a little bit too lazy. But, because I do have to, like, understand that proximity matters a lot. But I'm now actually, I have a hard time trusting people who are close to me simply because they're kind of fucking dangerous. But technically that's like something, a skill you have to be able to handle, like this kind of danger, right? It's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing, because it's kind of incompatible with how I behave on the internet. How I behave on the internet is completely different how I'm supposed to behave in the real life. And technically, that's kind of what makes me weird on the internet. That I allow myself to do certain, unethical things, technically, but like they're very necessary on the internet. Because you're dealing with a lot of strangers all at once, basically. It's you have to completely rethink everything. So that's a weird one. You can call me lazy for that, but I'm just like angry and upset. Alright? I think it's their fault. And I'm not forced to think for them anymore. I'm just literally stealing value, and when I will start thinking for them, they can just call me crazy and mentally ill, and they can even lock me up again just for actually trying to provide value. So there is plenty of danger, actually, and now I am not very motivated to actually provide value to the local society anymore. So technically, this is not even an argument that you can make that I'm lazy because I'm not doing that. I mean, they're lazy because the amount of work that I put up right now, it could be ridiculously useful to them, but they don't give a fuck, man. They don't. I can just do it as if it's a secret of some kind. I don't even want to keep a secret like that. This is the stupidest thing ever. They're just being exposed, man. Holy fucking crap. The entire society is being exposed. They should feel like shit. The moment I blow up as a Lithuanian YouTuber, like, the entire Lithuania is gonna set on fire. It's like everyone's gonna scream and run around aimlessly, not knowing what to do anymore. Like, that's what would happen. You guys want that to happen? Please subscribe. I mean, it's too late to say that. Only real subscribers have survived this far. But, like, god damn it, I want to do that one. So yeah, like, most of the things I can just think about. I mean, it should work. You give me a problem, I think about it, and sometimes it will get solved, sometimes it won't. It will be like a deep concern that I have, and I cannot get rid of it. Then you have, like, successfully invaded my thoughts, and I have to do something about it. Like, if I know there's some kind of event happening, or maybe I run out of money, that's the scariest thing of all time. Now I have to find a way to get money or security or all that stuff. Mostly it's just security, right? Like, you have something and you don't want to lose it. You want security on that thing. I don't want to lose anything. And with technology upgrading over and over again, I think there's a higher risk to lose all of this technology to, like, AI hijacking everything and just breaking it down. And it's very possible, because if there's some flaws that we don't want to fix, even technology can just bunch itself up and just disappear, and we're left with nothing. There's a lot of security problems that we're dealing with in our society without even really knowing right now, I think. But it's still worth it. It's still worth having all this technology because it, empowers us significantly. a lot of people are now lazy because of it, but it's their fault technically for being lazy. So yeah, there's a thinker way of being lazy. All right, so let's put all these 4 ways, see what happens. Like, you're technically not allowed to be a thinker and not being able to escape problems whenever you want. Then you can't afford being a thinker. You have to just work with the problems, like, straight on and fight with them. Like, if someone is chasing you and you can't escape, you're gonna run out of stamina at some point. And you know that there's no choice. You have to fight. And that can sometimes happen in life as well. So, there's some problems you have to tackle because, like, they're just gonna crush you eventually. You have to find a way to escape. Like, you can do thinking on the side if, in case there is an escape route, but normally you just tackle them head on. These problems have to be crucial, obviously. They can't just be, like, small. So I'll say major problems. Because major problems tend to, spread like cancer. And cancer itself is a major problem that you have to do whatever it takes. So if someone brings up that I'm, like, disrespectful to Technoblade, rightfully so. He's a good gamer, but bad lifer, dude. Really bad one. I think you can actually escape cancer. Well, you can't. Because there's still not enough science, apparently. I don't think it's the science that we need more of. I think we need more of actual, like, weird solutions that somehow weirdly work. So we have to try a lot of things. And not through science still, not through experiments. But, like, just try things. Like, it's very simple. And while we're trying things, we also have to make sure we organize it in our heads, in our minds. We stack the good ones, and we share it to other people. I mean, trying is just a part of the equation. But it's too deep of a topic. Let's continue. So there is, let's do the yellow. Let's do the fire. So the principle of stacking, or the principle of capitalism. So you're making a lot of money. A very lazy thing to do is not to spend your money, obviously. Is this the lazy capitalism thing? Technically, you kind of want to invest money, right? But if you're earning a lot of money, and you have a lot of money left over, and you have access money where you have covered up your future and your potential future, now it's time to invest. Big time. And if you have a trouble with that, like, that's kind of what's gonna make you lazy. But I think this doesn't apply to most people. This has to apply to most people, or otherwise it doesn't matter that much. So it cannot necessarily be about money, but it could be about resources. And I think if you're bored, have access time. So it's a very simple thing. You have to use it wisely. Use it or invest it. Because this is a very important resource. Like, time is ridiculously important. And someone like, Andrew, Super Tate, he knows what to do, okay? So, That's very important to know. He knows this principle, and that's very good. Most people know not to waste their time. Basically, they feel really bad about it, but that would be the lazy thing to do. And at any point, just waste time because you're bored, so you'll do whatever, right? But if you choose to do nothing when you're bored, like, well, that's like the worst thing you can do. By all means, you have to have solutions to these problems, to these access resource problems, basically. Alright, the elements of liars and authorities. What do they do? Well, they deal with the systems, and we already talked about the systems. When you're in power, everything has to be thought out and working. I think it's straightforward. We already talked about it. Like, you have to really educate yourself, and that's kind of where the word science comes from, is because authorities are forced to educate themselves incredible amount, but to the point where it just leaked out as like the most important thing to do at schools is to act as an authority and start learning, but in school, like, we're not motivated in schools to do that. We're not authorities. We don't actually have responsibilities. So they did it completely backwards at schools. We're just kind of mimicking authorities. But technically, just mimicking itself is good enough because we're probably gonna become authorities potentially, and it's one of the highest tiers you can go to is become one. After all, so you must know what to do, and the thing to do is educate yourself about how every single module works, and that's the habit that we had to learn, basically. And if you don't learn this principle, oh, well, I'm sorry, dude. No, nobody's gonna care. The moment your shit collapses, like, it's game over. You have lost all your reputation, just like that. That can happen, and that's a very terrifying thing for any authority, just to lose reputation. Like, that's all they have, honestly. That gives them responsibilities of some sort. And the last one is the feels good thing. And my mom does that, as I've said, with the kettle. She uses the metal kettle and heats it with actual fucking fire using, gases and shit. So don't just do convenient things. Make sure they are actually useful. You have to basically double check the value, alright, and really calculate your options and value, and not just do what feels good, cause, oh boy, I mean, I can't stop laughing at the left, because they keep doing what feels good, and it's not the solution right now that we need, unfortunately. It's like, come on, man. But, I mean, America is full of these people that try to do what feels good. So it feels good to belong in some kind of group, have the opposition, and you're kind of fighting the opposition really actively, and it's like, these people don't appreciate our values, so we're gonna amplify them as much as possible and try and conquer the rest of the world, basically, with our values. And it's just the most fucking despicable bullshit that Americans fucking invented, but it kind of works, but it kind of pisses me off because America is the only country that actually cares about the internet properly. Every other country is full of ass right now. But probably the most most Americans, when they will realize, oh, I'm just some European dude, my reputation just goes into a shithole, basically. And well, you have a little tiny country, tiny PP. I don't give a fuck about what you say. You can't touch me, and that's it. My reputation just evaporates just like that. I don't know. I can't imagine. Obviously, my ability to think things and upload valuable content to the internet should be appreciated by all means, because then I can answer specific questions, which is crazy, right? To actually have access to Google these days, crazy, but like reliable Google. The Google that you're using is so unreliable and so shitty that, holy fucking crap, you have no idea. It's just gonna mess you up, basically. So, I think I've done all of the work already. Like, we went to completely next level at this point. And talked about laziness in the 4 elements ways. Like, there's nothing more powerful than that. I mean, I summoned 4 elements, for fuck's sake. So, these are like 4 major things that can get out of balance. And again, these are very common too. Getting authority or getting responsibilities in general is a common thing. You can screw up stuff very easily and lose your reputation of any kind, to be honest. If people start disliking you, like, it could be a problem unless you don't like them back and you kind of intended that to happen, you know? So if you don't like people, like, not having reputation is completely fine. Because you crushing that, you're using that as a resource, basically, to do something completely different. So whenever you ask to do something, you're just doing a half-assed job and with a bunch of mistakes, and then you just leave. It's like, wow, I expected so much from you. Why did you do that? Why did you expect it so much from a person who doesn't actually want to do that? And for them, authority just doesn't seem like a thing they want to have, apparently. So it's just very simple things like that. Like, these are so common. It's unbelievable. Maybe, I mean, again, quarter of personalities are gonna be thinkers. They're lazy. And the problems will start consuming them. And these are quite still common things to happen. You're just sitting there and thinking while the problems are like lurking. Fucking shit. Like, you have to be a very active thinker, by the way. Like, you have to really think about, what if there are fucking demons watching you right now? You know, stuff like that. You have to think about stuff like that too. And that will fucking keep you on your toes. For sure. Obviously, you look around, okay, maybe demons are not that real right now, but you can still feel their presence. There's still a lot of, like, very weird feelings that you can have as a human being. I'll tell you that much. That turn into thoughts eventually, and you have to double check, basically, under your bed as an adult, unfortunately. Eventually, you definitely stop doing that, because it's like, well, it's stupid, nothing like that happens. You look at statistics, and you look at bigger things eventually, but, yeah, sometimes, like, your consciousness can just shrink down into a small little ball that's scared of everything. And that happened to me, you know, when I was 22 years old or something? 21? Still, you know, fairly mature person, but I got scared of everything, man. And that's when I got, that was the reasonable suspicion to label me as a mentally ill person. And now I'm kind of happy that I had this experience, because it's like, I guess that's how you escape Matrix. You just trick people. I don't know, dude. So now I efficiently lost all the reputation imaginable, technically. Even though that makes no sense. Again, there's a possibility I do a successful YouTube rewind, I get a lot of reputation. And, but I'm still angry at a lot of people, so I'll waste it really quickly, guys. By all means. I'm sorry. Alright, so, we have a problem here. We just completed like 50 since our last checkpoint. My monitor is working again, but I can't rely on it anymore. Like, I can't just wake up and not being able to turn on my monitor anymore. Like, that's a scary thing. And it just turns on whenever it feels like. Well, I can't have that. I can have someone... Like, technology has to have, like, really solid reputation of actually working in a consistent manner. That is the most important thing that technology is supposed to do. So if something is malfunctioning, even a little bit, it's time to throw that shit out of here. It's not good anymore. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, I see it now, because, you know, random people come to my Discord and say, like, it's ugly and difficult. I have to, like, consider that as a problem, and if there's a solution to that, especially if the problem grows. And obviously, like, I have to, like, care as a thinker, like, really care to make sure, everyone's comfortable and they can freely express themselves and they're motivated to do so, and they're gonna be rewarded to do so, and they're informed properly. But there's so much I can do. At some point, it's just a little bit too much work for unknown amount of results, you know. That's not good enough for me. Especially when I cannot even just bump, you know, do the bump and actually get at least one person to check out because I'm alive on the internet. It's crazy, guys. People don't even appreciate that. They don't even know that concept exists, being alive. Because bumping is technically still not a very good verification that you are, in fact, alive. Maybe solving a puzzle would be nice. Different levels of verification would be nice. So, I should also keep in mind that, if everything fails, I could even just run a business of just running a Discord site where a bunch of different Discords are being, you know, promoted. Like, if YouTube fails, then I'll do the Discord thing. I don't know, man. I mean, I love Discord a little bit more than YouTube. It's just Discord doesn't actually exist, while YouTube is full force, you know? I don't know, it does feel like I want to do a big U-turn and do something and clean up my shit. Or at least, like, reveal the history, you know? Because Taylor Swift has not been the endgame or considered to be the endgame. But now she's very much is in the A-Team and all the lyrics, basically. And it just feels so good to actually listen to that, because now she's a part of that thing. She called for it, alright? 4 years ago. Like, it was happening, this song, I guess, while I was doing... I mean, it was very fresh out, basically. It's crazy, and the Ready For It is... I mean, the Reputation thing... It's my favorite album, and this is it, guys. There are good reasons for that.
My brain works.
Also, it is a problem, again, not being able to respond to everyone in the comments, technically, and kind of give what they want. Yes, you can have a bot respond to most comments somehow. To just kind of let people know how you think, how you feel about certain things, about certain words and phrases. Now it's possible that even the bot can reply, but even back in the day, like, I think just hiring one person to reply to a lot of comments is actually a very nice thing to do. It's crazy, I know. But it feels like it would like really you're really doing the active fishing of just really empowering people with the fact that you care at all. Like that's a crazy thing to think about, and what the impact of it is. And for some reason, it hasn't been really tested on YouTube. Like, there's probably a lot of things that are not tested on YouTube in general. And in terms of, like, interaction with other people. But you have to appreciate it so much, man. So much. Most people who become reputable on YouTube are just very lucky right now, of all things considered. Yes, you obviously have to do the work, and you have to do it properly, and if you do it early enough, you will still be considered lucky, because you're going to be pushed out by people who genuinely are more skilled, and actually put even more work, and in terms of much higher quality, much higher accessibility. I wouldn't call myself doing that, but I think I would, it would be a hard time challenging me, to be honest, into a duel of who's providing more value and who's smarter or not. That is definitely a hard one, but in terms of value, like, everyone provides value in a different way, so that would be a much more interesting thing to compare. But I literally can invent comparing in the first place. But just because you can make Hearthstone doesn't mean you're going to be able to play Hearthstone in the most efficient way. You're not going to be able to crack down the rules. Just like you can invent chess, and you're not going to be able to actually play it well enough to beat everyone. But because you started it early, you know more about chess than anyone else, very likely. Just because you know the rules. So, and that still kind of makes you lucky in the end, basically. Looking back into the past. Like, well, okay. But at the same time, you're kind of lucky, but you didn't get the full benefits. The full spectrum of what YouTube is actually capable of as well. So, are you really lucky? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I might actually recap Taylor Swift's story for no fucking reason, because that will force me to look back into what I've, chatted with myself about. I don't know if that's gonna turn into content of some kind. I do have to finish these videos too, because they're kind of laughable most of the time, especially Science of Laziness. Don't give me that word, but ASAP Science can stop themselves from using that word for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why would you call yourself ASAP Science and then put science everywhere. Like, it makes no sense to me, obviously.
Planet, or a negative judgmental label, laziness is a necessary state of rest and relaxation.
And also a state of constantly generating revolutionary thoughts, because when else is gonna happen? In the middle of fucking a war or something? You don't have a time to write it down, so it's just gonna slip away. I don't care how revolutionary that is. So I'm in constantly of state of seeking and writing things down, and honestly, it's probably very valuable. I just don't get enough feedback, and I'm very angry about that. But other than that, like, it's valuable to me, of all things. I mean, people still read books, for fucking sake, man. And this is a book. Story 2022, this is a book. You have to fucking read it. You actually can, in fact, read it, and it's, like, ridiculously relevant and fresh. It's a book out there, guys. For free! Jesus Christ. I would probably be able to say free book, and people just gonna grab it. This is the best way to advertise your Discord channel. Free book, guys! Free book! Holy fucking crap, man. I will look back into this moment because I got my new screen. Monitor, basically. I'm not sure how much it changes the recording and how it's gonna work from now. I'm kind of like very curious, so is there a way to... That's the canvas. I don't know, dude. I need to know like what the screen is looking at, because there's the canvas, right? But how many pixels am I actually putting into the canvas? That's my question. And for some reason, I don't know how to do that. For fuck's sake. I don't even remember how to access, like, exactly the pixel perfect way, because the way that I just did it just, like, shifted around like that or whatever. Manually, basically. But I know there's a pixel perfect way to do it. It's just... Even OBS can be improved. Millions of times, man. Like, everything. Everything is flawed all the time. Why do I have to live in a world like that? Oh well. So, we can continue now without interruptions. That's fucking fascinating. But I do want to just do the Taylor Swift thing after I laugh at the science thing. I mean, science literally has no idea how unaware it is of itself. You know, self-awareness is not a thing in science by any means. It has to be self-aware in order to make kind of good experiments and like valid experiments, but playing with rats, I don't know if that's a valid experiment. You're just playing with a life form. The best thing you can do is understand how consciousness works to some extent. It's not a bad thing by any means, so let's continue.
Likely to prefer sitting around and simply doing less than those who have.
Here's the fucking magical thing about human beings. They're actually capable of being rational and changing their behaviors. Like, using tricks. Sometimes. But sometimes just pure will is good enough. In principles and learning things. And, this is what I'm talking about when science is not self-aware. It's like, but you know there's free will, right? There's free will. I don't care if you are addicted, like it's a drug to follow your genes. Because, you know, like probably following your genes just makes you feel good. Because, like, everything is in order. No problems there. But, like, and then in terms of a survival order, that's a very important thing, you know, surviving is an important thing. If you don't survive, then who cares? Who cares what your genes are, you know? So you work with what you have, which is why genes kind of matter. But beyond that, genes don't matter that much, to be honest, because you can change them. That's the whole point. And the whole point is to unlock the ability to change your genes and all that shit. So I'm sorry, dude. Your stupid dopamine receptors are gonna receive a lot of shitpamine straight into your brain, right there. If you say another word of science, you're lucky this is 8 years ago. Wow. So yeah, there's nothing valuable on YouTube at the moment necessarily. I mean, I can extract value, but it's a tough one. The reason why most of the anti-arguments don't really stick, and they get countered really quickly, is because, again, there's a smart way of being lazy. It's kind of a skill, to be honest. And understanding it is fucking fascinating. But I think there's one more thing that I need to counter. Oh yeah, so like the question is, should you always escape comfort zone? Should you always be stressed? And the idea is, or a counter argument is, you definitely don't want to be always outside of a comfort zone simply because you want to achieve something, right? You're trying to do something. So there's an efficient way and a very comfortable way to do it, and you're probably gonna do it a lot faster that way. The only time you should be outside of your comfort zone if you need to improve something and look at it from another angle, from another perspective. That you're just trying to test something out, trying to kind of like appreciate it a lot more, and seeing from different angles can give you more ideas. Basically, if you're trying to generate ideas, there are reasons to go outside of a comfort zone, but it shouldn't be like a constant thing. So the only question left is being stressed similar to losing going outside of comfort zone? It should technically be that way because you don't want to do stressed things. Like, that is the definition, basically. It's kind of like very similar things. So what would that need a different counter? Well, just I think it's kind of obvious. Like, being stressed doesn't actually feel good. You want to be excited, you know. So again, it's just a very important reason. But I mean, I just said just being stressed is a bad thing, and you do want to extend your comfort zone to be comfortable of going outside of your comfort zone. You still have to secure that zone. You still have to want to go outside. There has to be like good reasons to do all these things. It's a tough one, right? But it's easy to counter that shit. So far, so good. Anything else, Mr. Gary V? Mr. V? GV?
Might be, or how many problems you might encounter.
Shut the fuck up, don't think, man. He also says don't overthink instead of don't think. But he puts don't think on the screen. I mean, you didn't thought about it, did you? Yeah, you didn't thought about it. I'm sorry, dude. Act immediately. Break it. How do you break it down without thinking, dude?
Anytime. It's
So the break it down means, turn it into smaller bites, basically. Whatever activity you want to do. I don't care, dude. I don't care. He's not gonna make me care, but he's just talking to the audience and hoping for a response. What if... Yeah. Checkmate, mate. It is kind of a checkmate, to be honest. Well done. So, there is no valuable stuff that I was able to find. But I was able to generate valuable stuff. That's nice. We're very, very close. We need 80 more points. What are we gonna do now? I could talk about my life, which is ridiculously boring. I'm not prepared for this, and that's another lazy thing. But if you try and prepare yourself for something, like that is the worst. I mean, if something requires preparation, then it probably shouldn't actually exist to begin with. I'm trying to understand annihilation. Complete destruction. Yeah, that's what I want. This is the weirdest word, man. Annihilation, dude. You call this annihilation? Yeah, nice try, dude. It's the funniest bull. English is like a piece of garbage in terms of how you write it down. It's so crazy. Ah. Wow, I actually got my first Wordle. This is my second attempt, guys. Now I like it because I beat it. I actually got 1, 2, 3 as well. That's kind of cool. But that's kind of how you do it. But there's a big gap here. It's kind of cool. I'm surprised there's no like ability to see other people's results, just random people, or the average or something like that. It's kind of like an advanced system without data, really. It's kind of oh. Wow, look at me. I get to see the words now. Yeah, it could be a daily activity. I'm not gonna lie. Fucking figure out C. Do you know how much brain I needed to have to figure out C? It's crazy. See, like, you don't want to do nothing. I mean, value comes in mysterious ways from mysterious sources. You have to have experiences in life, unfortunately, in order to be aware in general. So, doing anything helps, but doing nothing is a terrifying thing. So you should always be desperate to do something and not be bored, obviously, because you're trying to deal with two things: be lazy enough, but not be consumed by boredom. Alright, while you're being lazy, you're actually gonna consume a lot of stuff, because the boredom is gonna creep in and ask you to do something, and you're gonna present your fucking papers, please. Alright, so now I'm recognizing this was the normal screen size, and the video size is a little bit bigger now. I don't know how I will deal with this, actually. This is uncomfortable as fuck, man. But technically, these are just borders. And I don't care that much. Yeah, there's another thing, right? Should you choose to watch porn or actually pursue a relationship? And the answer is, I already fucking answered what I think about relationships. It's just not worth it. Getting a girlfriend. It is very exciting to make someone happy, even for a moment. But like, you're gonna make them upset most of the time, unless you're not lazy and you're actually working really hard on that relationship for some reason. Like, it requires such a huge investment and such a huge change of principles most of the time that it's just not worth it. And I don't see people like don't tolerate laziness at all in a way. Like, you have to change so much, and it's like, are you serious? It's not me that has to change. I'm sorry, dude. I don't even care how far away society is from actually giving a fuck right now. Because they have to. They just have to turn around and pick up some gold. Because it's right here, you know. And I'll buy a lot of things with it. otherwise. So yeah, it's just one of those examples when social pressure shows up and it's demanding you to hand over the gold. Hey dude, you have to have a girlfriend now. You have to, it's about time. Well, at least nobody fucking told me that anymore. At least nobody fucking cares. That's fucking fantastic. Living on the internet, really fucking nice. Although I would rather fight these people and try to convince them otherwise. At least there's some hope there. I don't want to talk to a wall all the time. But I'll be ready when things get ugly, okay? I'm just saying. See, going back to the preparation thing, you must understand that there's no such thing as preparation. You just start doing something. You know, it just kind of is a part of a process. You can kind of call it preparation, like, because it's not the main event. But, you're not going to be preparing for preparation. You're just going to start doing, and is that preparation? It's like making right now YouTube Rewind that I'm doing is somehow some kind of preparation. Is that needed at all? Like, there's no such thing as a required preparation. Like, it's fucking disturbing to me. You have to, like, acquire certain skills. That could be preparation, but that means there's some kind of main event happening that technically you shouldn't really care about unless there's, like, one special main event in the whole year, the way that I set up myself. Because how many times a year can you actually be valuable to society, you know? On your birthday, that's it, man. You would also probably wonder, what about bad quality, you know? Isn't bad to make lazy quality stuff? I mean, the stuff has to work, and based on the quality that you produce is the value of the thing, obviously. And in the competitive setting, obviously, laziness is a little bit of a downgrade most of the time. But you are supposed to be lazy and not really care about competition that much, unless you're getting some kind of very important benefit. But competition is, like, so outside of a comfort zone, like, I don't even know what the fuck that is, man. Obviously, again, there comes a time to a human being when they actually have to provide some kind of good quality thing, but most of their lives, they have to remain lazy, alright? When they're asked to do something, and asked to give as high quality as they possibly can, and it is quite a bit competitive, what do? Now, I can put it in a context of, like, let's say I am invited into a Hearthstone tournament. What the fuck do I do? Well, I still remain extremely fucking lazy. And if something actually bothers me, I just quit the competition immediately. I mean, there has to be a lot in stake, alright, for me to be motivated to begin with, to be lured in and lose my laziness. There has to be a lot in stake, man. In fact, you would be considered incredibly lazy if you have high quality things that nobody cares about. That's the laziest fucking shit you can actually do to yourself, and it's really destructive, dude. There is some fairness to it, but as the competition rises, at some point it doesn't matter how high quality your content really is. Yes, content has to be coherent, straight to the point. Now we're only like concerned about shorts. Like there's so much competition that the only thing that outcompetes the competition is short type of content. All right, you have to introduce yourself and do all these things and not annoy anyone, and be able to somehow squeeze subscribers out of that interaction. It's not an easy thing by any means, by the way. And because the funniest thing is, I made a video kind of making people aware. It wasn't even a clickbaity video. I just made people aware that I have lack of subscribers, technically, because nobody wants to subscribe to me. And I got 2 petty subscribers, which is the most ever so far in this year's career. One video has given me 2 subscribers. That is the highest record-breaking thing ever, basically. Maybe Mr. Beast gave me 2 subscribers, I'm not sure. I need to double check. Oh yeah, so Mr. Beast also. But literally these 2 videos are about subscribers in general. So you literally have to ask people to subscribe in a very weird way. Because I don't want to do it directly, because it's the most discouraging thing, I would say. It's really hard to like subtly encourage a person to think about it, and it's like, okay, maybe I should subscribe. I think it's a little bit more effective than just begging for it. Looking like a fucking homeless person, basically. Please subscribe, guys. I produce very good content. Yeah. So, these were like on the nose. These were on the thumbnail and title things. Subscribe, basically, in an indirect way. And then I got 2 subscribers. I had to fucking squeeze YouTube with fucking all the strength that I have. Fucking almost beg in the most indirect way. Hey, YouTube, I could use a few subscribers. You don't have to give those subscribers to me, but please, please, I beg you. So technically there's still a glitch in YouTube where people only subscribe when they become aware, when they're being kind of asked the question, should you subscribe or not? Like, isn't that fucking game-breaking insanity, basically? Isn't it? Well, it's not, because a lot of people have a lot of subscribers now. Oh, of course it is. Because, the competition becomes even crazier now. Yeah, it's just, you have to make people aware, like, you have to force awareness into people, like, big fucking time. It's absolutely insane, dude. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Awareness. So technically, there's nothing high quality about this stuff at all, right? I just made people aware and I kind of got what I wanted. It's not that fucking difficult, alright? There are actual solutions, and if I wasn't lazy and I wasn't uploading videos every single day, basically, if I was trying really hard to make videos, I would only be able to upload once a week or something. And I probably would have missed this kind of information and data entirely. You know, I wouldn't be able to make a video. Well, I would be able to make a video about Mr. Beast, but I wouldn't see the pattern. Okay? I would think it's just like people clicked because Mr. Beast is on the thumbnail. But no, it's clearly about subscribe to me or I will die from fucking boredom, basically. That's what's happening. Oh, it's ridiculous, man. There's the only effective torture, and it's keep dropping drops of water into the ocean, I guess. Oh wait, you're supposed to drop that on a human being. YouTube, what are you doing, man? I don't want my videos to drop into the ocean where it just sinks. It kind of even disappears. It literally doesn't have existence or identity or anything. So no one's gonna click on that. But if it lands on an actual person and keeps landing on an actual person, imagine that's the most important thing to actually fix. People with plus 10 million subs need to amplify other people. So it's not you that's supposed to improve their quality. They're supposed to improve their fucking social pressure instead of transcending into heavens, basically. Oh wow, bye-bye, Mr. Beast. I hope you're comfortable up there, where you don't have to interact with the rest of the world. And Mr. Beast is a fucking mild example because he actually gives a fuck, but a lot of people don't. Alright? Mr. Beast is up in the air because he wants to make a video about it. Okay, but technically he cares. But everyone else is like, dude, you don't give a fuck, man. And every time I see a fucking promotion of some kind is the cringe overload. Oh, you're selling me this product. Oh, very nice. I won't buy it. I hope nobody else fucking buys it. Oh, you're gonna sell it even more viciously next time, so people do buy it. Okay, no problem there. You only have 10 million subs. I don't see why you're so uncomfortable financially right now. I don't see what the problem is. But I'm sure people will give you $10. All right. I mean you know what the best thing about being lazy is? Also, there's a very interesting saying, because it's a saying that everyone says, work smart, not hard. It's quite simple thing to actually make people aware of. But, and that will make you look lazy, but who cares, man? If you get the work done, that's work done. That's it, man. You move on. Anyways, yeah, where was I? The best thing about laziness is you get to be poor and don't give a alright? You don't need a fancy car or fancy things in general. You don't even need to prepare or be in special events or of any kind. Like Mr. Beast, like, will teach you everything. Just listen to this guy. Don't listen to me. I don't have 100 million subscribers for some reason, but I will get that. I'll steal it somehow, you know. I'll ask Susan Wojcicki, who should I steal subscribers from? And she will happily reply, because there's a lot of people that don't deserve subscribers anymore. I'm just saying, I will corrupt YouTube by any means necessary, okay? That's how I will get my subscribers. There's millions of strategies of how to become the most subscribed person. So, I'll use a new one you've never seen before. So I think we can come to a conclusion finally. I mean, we're getting so close at this point. 37 points left, 36. There's a very simple conclusion that you can make. I genuinely believe you will be more effective by spreading out your work into small pieces. Technically, every single video is a kind of still a small piece, but you can dive into it. Alright? It's a deep one. It's not a fucking puddle. I didn't pee randomly on the floor and call it a video. Alright? But I also didn't put too much effort into it. There's this magical amount of effort. And I think every single day is one of those magical, you wake up, you have to do something, right? And potentially something very different than you did last day. And it's just a very nice amount of time to do exactly that and record something. And doing daily videos is the way to go technically. But you kind of adjust how you want to approach it, right? Most of the YouTube channels are successful enough if they just show up once a week. Alright, but those have to be like really well thought out and well produced, high quality videos. Because now you are not spreading out your stuff, your awareness, you're just focusing on something. You're saying that this is important, and for big channels, that's how you do it. But for small channels, you have to pick up skill and grow as fast as possible, and that's the only way to do it consistently. So, yes, once you have responsibilities, you can start focusing and really challenging yourself, because it's a very difficult task to actually give people value over a certain amount of time. You have to learn how to speak without flaws, convey information really quickly, fucking throw a meme here and there to get a reaction, to make sure the person is not sleeping on the fucking keyboard when they watch your videos or whatever. Sleeping on the toilet. That's the most common thing, honestly. Yeah, and that's a lazy person right there. But he has a reason. He watched a shitty video. Pun not intended, but holy shit, it's welcome right there. So yeah, we're coming to that special conclusion. I'm still not like satisfied, because you know there's a slider and it suddenly changes. But I think I'm very good at understanding this behavior that is required of how to grow as a person. You must not grow in terms of competition, because you will always lose the competition. All right, there's no chance you can win the competition. There's always gonna be a person who actually wants to beat the competition just so he could beat the competition, and it's very likely that he's gonna get a lot of recognition and rewards, and you're not gonna do that. But it's important for you to be the guy who goes into every single competition and kind of just leaves. It's like, well, I give up. Oh oops. It's a crazy thing to do, but somehow it works, man. So, but then you do the opposite completely, because you have to care about something, one thing, right? To just be prepared, technically, for maybe the change of how your content is gonna work in the future. Maybe you're gonna be demanded to release really high quality videos, and you're gonna be demanded to focus. I'm not exactly sure I would like that to happen in my life, but I understand the demand. I understand it, because it's so hard to make people aware of things, so you have to make it ridiculously high quality, and ridiculously reaching, like very important topics or something. Like ridiculously powerful punchlines have to be used. I still don't think like No, it has to be very high production, but not too high. Going beyond 1 week of production, now you're getting into some weird territories. Now you're getting into some risk factors, man. I mean, you gotta. I don't watch movies, so for me, when I look at movies, like these are the highest risk factors. Like they put millions of dollars in that shit, and they wanted to pay it off somehow. Come on, there's better ways to earn money than that. I'll tell you that much. I mean, this seems like a ridiculous thing, but it probably pays proper. I don't know. I would like to investigate that, but I was too lazy so far. But again, it's almost like it's a weird thing because when you're aware of a lot of things, you feel lazy because you never really investigated or analyzed anything properly. Good. But if you actually try and do that, you're not going to be able to do that. Like, people don't really know how to appreciate right now the aspect of awareness. They don't know how to deal with it, with a person like that. Like, I don't think you have ever met a person who's capable of making YouTube Rewind on their own. It's one of the most impossible tasks of all time, and you need the entire year of work, and proof of work as well, to be able to do that one thing. So technically, however, it's important to have one goal that you're constantly working towards. And it's going to actually really define who you are as a person. Because now we're realizing, okay, I need to make people aware of what I really care about. Because those 1 hour videos are not going to tell what I care about, why I have a channel the way that I do, what actually I'm doing. Once people recognize what I do and recognize its importance to the rest of society, then when it all comes together, that's the special moment. Alright, so you keep on doing random things technically, but it all has to come together somehow. And at that point, being lazy is a tough one, man. You might have to actually put aside your laziness and you have to go all in, basically. Because that literally defines you. So you cannot have any flaws trying to define yourself, unfortunately. But obviously the problem with that is an immediate counter-argument. Excuse me? I'm still not going to edit my videos. I'm sorry, dude. I will find solutions, but I don't want to edit my videos, because I know that process sucks ass. Okay? I don't wanna lick ass. I don't wanna suck it. I don't know how you do that. But it is what it is, man. It's very sad. I don't want to do this process, man. Please. So it's part of my identity. You do have to give 100%, and sometimes that means you're slacking off in your shitty habits. But if you put enough time, I gave myself 14 days to make a rewind. I gave plenty of time to myself. If I was giving myself 1 week, it would have been a disaster, to be honest. Because that would be too much pressure. I thought a week was enough, but no, 2 weeks is exactly how much time I need to make this happen. And honestly, the best way to do it is not give time necessarily, but to always be aware of how everything comes together. Alright? Of how all these things that you're doing right now is going to come together into one single message. that you want everyone to know. Alright? So you keep on introducing different concepts into your life. You're becoming more and more aware and more skillful in that sense. But in the end, there has to be something you want to change about life. What would that be? You know, you're trying to talk to a genie, basically. Because that's what it feels like talking to the rest of society. And there has to be something you really care about that you could potentially have and very much appreciate. And people will probably be concerned of how do we give this guy the responsibility that he wants to have, basically. Because that's the only thing you really can ask for a society. What's going to be my part in the society? You have to get that golden ticket, basically. This understanding this stuff is insane. Because YouTube does not provide tools to achieve those things. But maybe I can force this thing to happen, at least to myself. Then I don't really have to worry about the rest of the world. I'll just make them aware that these tools must exist somehow, somewhere. And maybe in 15 years, people will figure it out. Because it's really difficult to make people aware of what they need, especially when they already have all this technology. Like, we can already stop there, you know, no problem there, nothing to solve here anymore. Well, you can keep improving, and that's fascinating right there. I think that's the best conclusion, alright? It's not a star. I'll use a rainbow because it will trigger a lot of people. Nah, I should use a unicorn, dude. Unicorn is fine. Unicorn is super Tate symbol right there. You think Bugatti is a super Tate symbol? Nah, it's unicorn. So, the conclusion is, boys, society wants to give you a responsibility once you decide what it is. And the way you do it is basically a year-long process, and if everything fails, and if everyone just laughs at me and how fucking pathetic this video is, well, congratulations, you assholes. I'll take my business elsewhere, and probably I'll open a business of farting into people's faces, because that's a fun thing to do. Alright, now let's get to fucking 20,000, boys. Let's clickety-click. My birthday wish is complete. Easy, boys. It took me 3 hours to do it, but a lazy amount of time. No problem. Wow, he's so lazy, he didn't even prepare himself for this video. Why would he do such a thing to me? I feel sexually harassed right now. I watched the entire video for some reason. Okay. I don't want to offend people who actually click to see the ending for some reason as well. Or just to see the unicorn, because the unicorn, guys. You have to see it to believe it. It's unbelievable, dude. How much... I don't have many clicks left. I have to go outside and fart into people's faces. I'm not gonna survive. I'm running out of resources. 10. 9. 8. Now it's slow. It's very slow. 7. You may try to object me, and my ability is 6, okay? To marry myself and my 20,000 points. 5. I earned it fairly, guys. 4. You can look at my tax records, okay? I gave some points away to other people. I swear, guys, I do it every month. 2. Alright, it's happening. The final countdown. Oh boy. How many points do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Technically, I mean, we activated 4 elements. Fucking 18. Just because. Alright? Just because it's more coherent that way. 21, 22. 22. Alright, 22. Laziness is gold. Value of 22, boys. You want to sell that to Chinese people? Fuck yeah, dude. Alright. And we slowly turn Chinese. No. Actually, Chinese people live a very normal life as long as they don't live in China. So, here you go. 20,000. Motherfuckers. Let's go. And my last message is, may the farts be ever in your favor. Okay? I don't know why... Is that a lazy thing to do? To say a stupid joke? Exactly. But again, you're doing a lot of random things, and some things stick and some things don't stick. And you're just trying to appreciate things. You're learning so much so fast. There's no other way to do it. So shut the fuck up. Alright? The only advice that anyone can give you is watch Gurunext. He's a smart dude. That's the only advice I want to hear out there in the universe, okay? And here's something else, I fucking ban this guy. Alright, see you guys next time.